Back in February, Tim Pool said that people should support the Rippaverse.
It is time for a resurgence in culture. And the parallel economy is poised to do it. Let's make new things. Let's take great risks. Shout out to the Rippaverse, making new comics. Let's go, baby.
Tim spoke about how we need a parallel economy. He's referencing how many entertainment companies produce left-wing content. Young Rippa, founder of the Rippaverse, isn't left-wing. He's an anarcho-capitalist. So does that mean you should support him to stop leftism? On an interview with Fox News, his company was referenced as anti-woke.
All right, from Superman to Thor, comic book characters are getting a woke makeover. We've been telling you about this. But you have a new comic book publisher promising to ignore cancel culture, and it is paying off. Rippaverse's debut, comic book #1, Isom, is #1, nearly made $3 million already, showing no signs of stopping.
Recently, though, Eric July decided to set the record straight.
When I started this company, a lot of people assumed that I would use this company as a vehicle for my own individual politics. Though I know why some publications wanted to classify us as anti-woke, we've made it clear that's not an accurate assessment.
In case Eric hasn't made it clear enough yet, the Rippaverse is not in fact anti-woke, but actually hires many woke employees.
We employ and contract dozens of people, and they're all over the political spectrum.
Does this even matter? According to Rippa in 2022, it did. Well, the Rippaverse can't be as bad as Snowflake and Safe Space, or Gay John Kent, right? First, let's take a look at how DC and Marvel came to be woke in the first place. What better person to ask than a former employee of both companies, who appeared on Tim Pool's show?
Let me ask you about, before all this stuff went down, did you notice in the industry, before your cancellation, an encroaching wokeness? Cult-like mentality, stuff like that?
Yeah. But I didn't understand what it was. A lot of strange women. I hate to put it this way. Sorry, ladies. A lot of strange women kind of suddenly showed up in the comic book business and basically came at us with this criticism that this was clearly a boys' club. It was unsafe for women, and everything that you guys are putting out is sexist, and it's racist, and it's homophobic. And, well, we're going to fix that. If you hire us, and you should hire us, we're going to fix that. Because if you don't hire us, you're sexist. So suddenly all of these women show up, and they start basically making changes to this sort of male-dominated hobby. This is a male-driven culture. Obviously it is. These power fantasies are mostly for boys. But they started to make these changes. The women, suddenly, who used to be beautiful and curvaceous, we used to be able to glorify and exaggerate the female form. Suddenly, we had to cover them up. Breasts became smaller and smaller until they were just sort of pecs. There was actually a weird phenomenon called the uni-pec, which was just one breast with like a stretched cloth over it because you didn't even want to define breasts in any way in superheroes. And basically everybody got scared. And then this other thing happened. The Me Too hit comics pretty hard. So there was that whole situation which caused everybody to really get in line. You did not want to question these women. You didn't want to started to realize they were activists. You don't want to question these activists at all. Allow them to make these changes.
Here Ethan explains that the origin of wokeness in comics started with strange women that slithered their way into these companies and changed the comics being produced. So how does that relate to the Rippaverse? If you remember, Eric bragged about hiring many authoritarian lefties. Were these just janitors? Or were they in positions of power? Let's take a look at the Rippaverse's editors, Jen and Sylvia Soska. You likely haven't heard of them because you aren't woke. They've starred in a number of works that are hard to describe in words, though the best way would be incestuous satanic lesbo vomit porn. Eric claims that they have since repented, but even in September of last year they were promoting their blasphemous comic. In March, they also solicited funds for the Hollywood pariah John Waters, who directed the film Pink Flamingos about a drag queen described as the filthiest man alive. You also probably haven't heard of this film either, as it features bestiality that resulted in the real-life death of a chicken, coprophagia, and lesbians that forced impregnated girls to produce babies for them. And this is a logo that they used in their recent collaboration with the Rippaverse. Considering the content that Eric makes, many of his supporters are Christian and conservative. How do you think this made them feel? How did it make you feel? Of course, Eric wasn't happy with his fans and gave this response. Eric July often speaks about big business needing to respect the fans and says that there is a high cost of treating them poorly. I believe he ended up eating those words, though that's the subject of another video. Regardless, I find this all disappointing, as the guy that Fox News and Tim Pool tried to get us to rally behind doesn't really seem to be legit. While in 2022 he posted this, and now in 2024 has made a huge pivot, I'm not really sure what to think. Ethan spoke with fellow artist Paul Rippaverse, who's worked on a number of hit animated series and also an Oscar-nominated film, Robot Dreams. They explained how they felt.
It's not just whatever you subjectively say is good, because if you try going down that route and claiming that, you just end up in big trouble very fast. Like,
hey
you
guys,
have to have an external standard.
You sold your souls to the devil, and you got nothing in return, guys. You got a shitty trailer that sucks. It's embarrassing. And you sold out for that. And again, I keep saying, like, if there was a pot at the end of this, like, dark rainbow that is the Saska sisters, a pot of gold, that would be one thing. Like, I'd be like, well, again, they're evil, but look, they just made the 3-minute Citizen Kane. I can't really argue with that. They tricked you. They don't know how to make movies. They're incompetent. They are inept. They fooled you. And all of this for that. Meanwhile, they're on your live streams. Heart, everybody, we love you, heart.
Yeah,
it's called love bombing. This is what these woke feminists do in order to invade these spaces. All of you got tricked. All of you fell. I don't want to ever hear about woke Disney. I don't ever want to hear about woke Marvel. I don't ever want to hear about woke DC and how did this happen? It happened to you guys. There's no big HR department for Friday Night Tights or Nerdrotic or any of your channels. There's no HR department, I don't think so, for Rippaverse. You guys let this in, and you can never complain about it again. I never want to hear about woke this or woke that ever again, because at least there are like a million different levels of how somebody could sneak into Disney and completely change that gigantic corporation. And there's BlackRock and all these other benefits. You did it for nothing. BlackRock isn't even giving you nothing. You get nothing. There's no social credit score for Rippaverse or Friday Night Tights. You guys let the devil, woke, feminist bitches into your world, into your business, and you got nothing for it. You didn't even get a good 3-minute trailer. How do you feel now, you goofballs?
On the bright side, there are plenty of artists and writers who don't hire incestuous satanic vomit pornographers, and on the contrary, they promote their American values and their love of their fans. People like Ethan Van Sciver with Cyberfrog, who fights against a bloodthirsty swarm that heavily resembles the cancel mob. Shane Davis with Inglorious Rex about a relentless fighter that faces incredible odds. Or Bosch Faustin, a former Muslim who has received countless death threats for drawing Muhammad and creating the anti-jihad comic Pigman. I've actually interviewed Bosch on this channel, and he left me with some incredible insight on art and his life story. You don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.